Dodge City, Kansas, 1870. Through countless movies, TV shows, and pulp novels, the name Dodge City has become legend, the wildest cow town on the western frontier. Much of the mythology surrounding old Dodge City centers on the town lawman. Wyatt Earp and Bat Masterson were real peace officers in early Dodge City. On television, Marshal Matt Dillon has thrown more outlaws in jail than a cactus has thorns.
PD1.
The modern-day counterpart to these legendary lawmen is Dodge City's Chief of Police, Oakley Ralph. Like the city itself, a lawman's life has changed considerably over the years. An occasional desperado needs rounding up, but Chief Ralph spends most of his time working on department administration or community relations, terms that might have made a frontier sheriff choke on his beer. In 1878, Dodge City's population was about 600. Today, it's 15,000. The city has a new civic center and 2 colleges. Of course, while it's true that Dodge City is keeping pace with modern times, its citizens aren't about to forget her well-known history. At the foot of Boot Hill, Dodge City's famous Old Front Street is reproduced, just as it was in 1872. There's a museum, an apothecary shop, a frontier doctor's office, Old Fort Dodge Jail, and if you're thirsty, you can still get a glass of soda pop at the Long Branch Saloon. Back in the 1800s, a cold drink wasn't the only comfort sought at the local saloon by trail-weary cowpokes. And while it's true there were a few career women in the Old West, most were kept corralled at home.
In the flood control project, in one of the ponding areas, I believe that we were considering a softball.
Today in Dodge City, a woman's place is anywhere she wants. Nancy Trower decided she wanted to be on the City Commission, the town's governing body. She campaigned for the office and was elected. The other members of the City Commission voted Nancy mayor of Dodge City recently, and she now serves as the city's chief elected official. One of the few things that has not changed much through the years is the nature of Dodge City's economy. During the frontier's great cattle era, Dodge became a major shipping point for trail herds. Its growth depended on the value of agriculture in general, and cattle in particular. Today, cattle raising is still the biggest industry. But the ranchers who buy and raise cattle are a new breed. Harold Poe, for example, with a college degree in agriculture, Poe spends much of his time in town rather than the fields. He lives in Dodge City and works in a local bank.
These cattle seem to be doing all right. What do you got, about 75% corn in that ration there?
Right now, 72%.
What else do you carry in it?
There's 8% protein, 8% alfalfa hay.
Cattlemen like Harold Poe buy most of their animals at auctions. Dodge City has 2 such livestock outlets, and they run full the year round. There is also a busy packing plant which dresses and packages beef.
Fighting to get him sold, aren't you?
Dodge City has changed, just as other small towns in Western America have changed. Yet Dodge has maintained links with its colorful past. World-famous Boot Hill Cemetery was used until 1879. Many a wayward cowboy came to rest after losing an argument to a shooting iron. There's a big difference between this city's past and present. Like a wise old Kansas cowhand, Dodge City holds on to just enough of both. Changes have been quiet and gradual on American college campuses since the student activism of the 60s. Student demands for a greater voice in university decisions have in many cases been won. An example of a major university's response to student needs is Harvard's new Department of Afro-American Studies, headed by Professor Eileen Southern.
Person in the movement of black studies and black history. Yes.
And he's not the person who has just started because black studies are popular. He did it years ago.
There's just certain common things in the black experience that anyone who's majoring in black studies should be exposed to.
With half of the ligature, but always follow.
An outstanding educator in music, Dr. Southern is an authority on the Renaissance period, particularly the music of the 15th century.
Now you're going to start the second section. Oh, wasn't that E flat in B natural? Wasn't that lovely? Okay.
Harvard was on the spot.
You know, Harvard is a place that you've heard about all your life. And I had visited the campus once, but it never occurred to me ever that I would be a professor here.
Dr. Southern believes that one of the paths to understanding black history is through music.
Obviously, black music does reflect the social conditions of the people who produced it. For example, in the 19th century, I doubt if the spirituals would have the poignancy that they have if they had not come from an enslaved people.
Professor Southern has written The Music of Black Americans, the subject of a course she teaches.
All of this music comes out of miserable conditions, but the music is produced by people who have a positive attitude toward life. Sure, life is very difficult, but they look forward to a time when it won't be difficult. In other words, I think the black music has an optimism. Now, do you understand about the syncopation now? I have this little rhythm.
Professor Eileen Southern, a distinguished scholar, adding a new dimension to the American educational scene.
Do you have any questions?